Let me ask you something. Think about the last time you made a genuinely bad financial decision, a real one, something that clearly cost you a significant amount of money, a bad investment, an expensive impulse buy, a financial mistake you can actually point to and name. Now here is the real question. How much do you think that single decision has actually cost you over the last 5 years? Hold that number in your head, because I want to compare it to something else, something most people never calculate, something that has almost certainly cost them more than any single bad decision they can name. It is the leaks, not the flood, not the financial catastrophe, not the one big mistake, the leaks. The small, recurring, practically invisible drains that exit your account every single month, sometimes daily, that are so individually minor they never trigger your attention, so automatic they never interrupt your life, so normalized they have become invisible in your financial picture. And here is what those leaks actually cost. The average person with a moderate income loses between $400 and $900 per month to money leaks. Not to bad decisions, not to emergencies, to leaks. That is between $4,800 and $10,800 per year. Invested consistently over 10 years at an 8% average return, that number becomes between $69,000 and $156,000. Not because you made one big mistake, because water found its way through 9 small holes you never checked. Today we are going to find every single one of them. Leak 1. Subscription creep. Here is an exercise. Right now, without looking at your bank statements, try to name every subscription you are currently paying for. Most people get to 5 or 6 and stop. They feel confident they have the list covered. The average American adult has 14 active paid subscriptions. The average person can name about 8 of them when asked cold. That gap, the subscriptions you know about and the ones you don't, is subscription creep. And it is the most widespread money leak of the modern financial life. It happens because subscriptions are specifically designed to be forgettable. They do not arrive as a bill you have to actively pay. They deduct automatically. They hit your account on different days of the month in different amounts, never large enough individually to feel alarming, always small enough to pass without notice. Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, Disney+, Apple One, Amazon Prime, the news website you subscribed to for one article, the meditation app you used for 3 weeks in January, the cloud storage upgrade you tapped by accident, the gym app you downloaded when the real gym felt too far, the premium version of the note-taking tool you use twice a month. Each one individually feels trivial. Collectively, they represent a category of spending most people have never audited. The typical American spends $219 per month on subscriptions. Most of them believe they spend around $86 per month. The gap between what people think they spend on subscriptions and what they actually spend is $133 per month. That is $1,596 per year. That is $15,960 over a decade before accounting for any compounding. The fix is a subscription audit. Once a year, pull your bank and credit card statements and list every recurring charge. Every single one. Then run each through a single question. Did I use this enough last month to justify keeping it? Not will I use it, did I use it? Past tense. The answer will tell you everything. Leak 2. The convenience tax. The convenience economy is one of the most successful financial extraction systems ever built. Every time you pay for delivery instead of picking up, you pay a convenience tax. Every time you use the ATM that charges a fee instead of walking 2 blocks to your bank's ATM, you pay a convenience tax. Every time you buy the pre-cut, pre-washed, pre-packaged version at the grocery store, instead of the whole version 3 feet away, you pay a convenience tax. Every time you book a flight the day before instead of 2 weeks in advance, you pay a convenience tax. Each individual convenience tax is minor. Combined across a month, they represent a surprisingly significant premium on your actual cost of living. The average person pays approximately $180 to $250 per month in convenience premiums they would not pay if they had planned slightly further ahead or been willing to accept slight inconvenience. That is not a judgment. Convenience has real value. Time is real. The problem is not that you pay the convenience tax occasionally. The problem is that most people pay it unconsciously, on autopilot without ever deciding it is worth the premium in that specific instance. The reframe here is simple. Convenient spending is fine when it is chosen. It becomes a leak when it is automatic. The exercise is a 30-day convenience audit. Each time you pay a premium for convenience over the next 30 days, note it, not to eliminate it, just to make it visible. Most people who do this exercise discover they would happily eliminate 40 to 60% of their convenience spending once they actually see it happening. Leak 3. Social obligation. Spending this one is harder to talk about because it touches something that feels personal. Social obligation spending is the money you spend not because you want the experience, but because the social situation demands participation. The group dinner where the bill gets split evenly and you order a salad and water. The office gift pool for a colleague you barely know. The round of drinks you bought because it was your turn and the group decided to do rounds. The destination bachelorette trip that costs $800 once flights and accommodations are factored in. The wedding gift for someone you have not spoken to in 3 years. Each of these individually feels like a small social cost of being part of a community. Together, they represent a category of spending where you have the least actual choice and the least actual enjoyment per dollar spent. The average person spends between $150 and $300 per month on social obligation spending, money spent to maintain social relationships, rather than to actually enjoy the experience being paid for. This is not about becoming antisocial or refusing to participate in the lives of people you care about. It is about two things: identifying the social spending that is genuinely meaningful versus the spending that is simply the path of least social resistance, and building the financial and social confidence to occasionally choose the less expensive option without guilt. The practical move is establishing a monthly social spending budget, not a restriction, a container. When you have a defined amount for social spending each month, every individual decision becomes a conscious allocation from that budget, rather than a reflexive yes to avoid social friction. Leak 4. Insurance overpayment. Most people set up their insurance, car, renters or homeowners, health, life, and then simply keep paying whatever they are currently paying indefinitely. They do not compare rates annually. They do not adjust coverage as their life circumstances change. They do not ask their provider whether a better rate is available for their current profile. They pay the same amount they agreed to pay when they first signed up and assume the rate is still appropriate. Insurance companies know this. The behavioral pattern insurance customers is so predictable and so passive that a significant portion of insurance company revenue comes from customers who have never checked whether they are overpaying. The average American overpays for insurance by $400 to $600 per year across their combined policies.